I know I need to be the face of the brand, but as soon as the camera turns on, I freeze. If you said that, and if you're watching this, you probably understand that putting a face to your brand could quite literally 4x your business. In 2025, if you're not actively showing up on camera, you're leaving thousands on the table. Like, this is something, this should be general knowledge now. Like, it should be like written everywhere. I've seen it firsthand. Like, businesses with visible founders convert significantly better than faceless corporations. And your ideal customers want to see you before they decide to trust you with their money. It's that simple. Most business owners either avoid being on camera completely, or they record something that looks so uncomfortable it actually hurts their brand. And here's the thing, like, your competitors are quite literally getting better, creating more content and stealing your potential customers simply because they show up where you won't. And in this video, I'll break down the exact 4-step framework we here at Fokus use to transform camera-shy business owners into confident on-screen experts. So stick till the end, because you're going to find so much value in this video that it might completely just change the trajectory of your business in, of course, a positive manner. And by the way, like, this isn't about becoming like an influencer. It's quite literally about building authority in your specific market. Think of your customer and you're talking to them. That's your specific market. We're going to be talking about how to script before you shoot, practice with purpose, add expressions that build trust, and get the real-time directions that even like Hollywood actors rely on. So by the end, you'll have a practical system that you can implement immediately. So when you put a face to your brand, people will connect way better, because this is one of those things in social platforms. People in general just connect way better with other people. So having that element within your brand, whether it's any type of business, whether you're a gym owner, whether you're a restaurant, online service-based business, or even having a product, having a face always makes it super easy to sell, because people will buy based off of your personality as well. They will look at you and be like, okay, this is a real person and I'm not going to get scammed. Because you're literally putting your reputation on the line if you do something bad. And this is something people resonate with as well. And this whole thing of like, am I getting scammed or not? This is actually quite common when it comes to selling something online. So it really humanizes your brand. And small businesses especially can stand out by using their owner or even like a spokesperson. You guys can use a staff or something as kind of like a distinctive personality. You see brands do this all the time. It's like open TikTok. Also, it makes it harder for competitors to kind of like replicate this authenticity. I've come across a lot of cases where businesses that have been active for a long time and they don't have content which they're creating on a regular basis. Again, maybe like they could just use a staff or like even the owner. If you don't have those simple elements and you're just posting graphics and those simple posts, then you will see the long-term effect of that in a negative way. People will not be connecting to those type of posts. And let me give you an example for this real quick. We work with a business owner now, and I remember speaking to him, and his main concern was like, hey, we've been in business for a long time, and then we can literally see the decline in our business. We've been trying billboards, we've been trying all these different advertising venues, but our competitors, they're just pushing content left, right, and center. They're literally seeing new patients go into their competitors. So just because of having kind of like an online presence, or they're putting maybe like their staff on the camera, or just the owners coming on there providing some amazing educational tips, are automatically going to be more in tune towards that person rather than like someone who's supposedly been in business for 30 years but only has like motivational posters on their feed. So it does make a difference. And one thing I also want to mention, very important, is that it also affects your ads as well. So let's say you're running ads without any content. Your ads won't perform as well as they would compared to if you did have content on the feed. And the reason for this is people will always do their research. As soon as you're running ads, people will always click on your profile as well. They will tap on that, and then as soon as you go to your analytics, you can quite literally check that your profile visits are going up. This is because people are researching on the back end as well. Like I said, people want to make sure this isn't a scam, like there's like an actual profile behind this. Because if you only have like 5 followers in 2 posts, people immediately think that something suspicious is going on, like they just created this page 2 days ago. So we want to make sure we're removing all these doubt elements and then give them more proper research elements to make sure that they can make a decision. So let's say you have content now. So let's say somebody comes through your ad again. They click on your profile button. Now they're on your Instagram feed. Maybe they give you a follow and they watch a lot of your content. Next time they get hit with your ad, they're most likely to take action because you're now a warmer person to them. At this point, they've seen you multiple times, including your content and ads. So it makes them more susceptible to book a call with you. And this is super important. You need to make sure, especially when it comes to anything online, you give people enough research tools for them to go in and watch a lot of stuff, read a lot of stuff, and make a decision right then and there. Because if you don't have those things, you're just gifting your competitors prospects. Because let's say your ad is over here, it's at the top, and somebody clicks on your ad because they're interested. And if you don't have all these things that I just mentioned, you literally have holes within your ads, and then you start leaking prospects. Now they're capturing these, like all the prospects are landing over here because they have all the right tools for this prospect to make a decision right then and there. Very, very important you know this. And this is sometimes why I don't necessarily like Google as much, because it doesn't really differentiate your brand. It's just kind of like text on the screen. Let's say somebody's looking for a service, but they're not necessarily looking for you. On Google, whenever somebody types in your service and you do pop up, it's always a battle of a competition. Like who will get that click link first? Like who has a prettier text, a prettier website? People aren't necessarily going for you. Maybe they're just looking at like cheaper prices, something like super quick. If that's your business, that's fine. But for most businesses, I always just recommend having a good solid brand and just run ads on Meta and click on your specific website because they specifically want to work with you. Even in 2022, a study done by like Sprout Social, 70% of consumers felt more connected to brands whose CEO or team members were active and visible online. And also research by LinkedIn showed that content shared by employees or founders typically get up to 8 times more engagement compared to like any other company pages. And the reason for me bringing this up is just to tell you that personal touch will always get more interactions. The only times I wouldn't recommend having a face of the brand is if your business model heavily prioritizes scalability without dependence on specific individuals. So what I mean is, like, if you tend to exit or sell the business eventually, then you might not be the best person to become the face of the brand. And also, if you're serving broad markets or you have multiple businesses and you want to avoid narrowing your target market, then in those cases as well, I would recommend having somebody else as the face of the business. But overall, for most people, especially service-based ones, having a face to your brand is one of the most powerful ways to build trust and stand out from your competition, and also ultimately convert more customers. Now, if you do want to learn more about how we help businesses create amazing video content that actually converts, there's a calendar link in the description. Just go through there, fill out some few questions, enter details, and either me or one of my team members are going to hop on with you on the strategy call, and we'll be there to help you with best practices on helping your businesses scale using these online platforms. I'll see you next week.